So 6 years probation, evaluation and treatment, and 40 hours community service. And then working if he's not, I mean, if he's full-time at Morehouse, he doesn't need to be working.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Judge, thank you.
All right. Ms. Jackson, what criminal history information do you have for Mr. Fields?
Yes, Your Honor. There are 5 cycles. The last arrest was February the 24th, 2024 in Clayton County for driving while license suspended or revoked. He does appear to be on probation in Gwinnett County for possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute. That disposition date was January the 31st, 2024, and the term is for 5 years. He does have misdemeanor convictions. One in 2024 out of Clayton County for driving while license suspended or revoked. One in 2023 out of Morrow, Georgia for knowingly making a false statement pertaining to a motor vehicle insurance requirements. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Rios.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Fields is 25 years old. He doesn't have any children. He has 2 jobs, which I just provided to you in the fact that he's working at Metro by T-Mobile at the daytime, and then he's doing Domino's, driving for Domino's as delivery at night. That's why the license thing was so important. He did do 3 years at Morehouse. He is planning to go back. This situation has been a hiccup. He's been trying to make money to attend Morehouse, and that's been hard. He did do conditional discharge in one of his other cases, so I believe first offender is still available to him on this case, because the other case was a marijuana case that he took conditional discharge on.
The Gwinnett case, the
Yes.
5 years probation.
Yeah, I had him give me the disposition, and it says conditional discharge, so I'm believing that's not the regular first offender. I think that, well, I don't want this case to ruin his life. He wants to finish at Morehouse, have a career. He's been communicates great with me. He's been a really good client. I think this was just a hiccup, and he's going to do great things, and I don't want anything to prevent him from doing that.
Okay. Mr. Fields, what do you want to tell me about what was going on in your life then, when it seems like maybe you had a side hustle that could get you in some trouble, versus what's going on in your life now?
This all starts and hopefully at some point ends with Morehouse. COVID happened during my sophomore year. And so it was a struggle getting through sophomore and junior year. When senior year came, I was basically out of financial aid. And so at the time when I was arrested, I was actually on the way to work at my night job at Amazon at the time. And indeed, I did, try to make more money to college students and everything, to just try to get through and try to fund my college career and potentially pursue sports journalism. And so I got pulled over once, and that also took a turn, and instantly transitioned into just trying to work my butt off, working 2 jobs currently. Don't plan on getting rid of those jobs unless I get a raise or promotion to eventually complete the mission and finish my last 2 semesters. Got about 30 credit hours. That's been the main goal. I'm not from here, have no family, no support, don't have anybody, putting money in my account. So I'm really just trying to make it work out. And I did make a couple wrong decisions and choices that I quickly noticed it's not the lane or avenue I need to take. And since then, I've kind of been on the straight and narrow, just working hard. And because of that, very big in my religion as well. Because of that, I do feel like God's been blessing me and things have been kind of unfolding the right way by doing things the right way. So as far as that, nothing left to say.
Where are you from?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Do you still have family back there?
All of them, everybody,
No one out here?
nobody, not
Okay.
even a second cousin.
Sports journalism, is that a major at Morehouse?
Yes, sir. Journalism was the major, minor in sports. That's what I'm pursuing now.
Okay. Did you do anything while there to pursue that? Were you on the announcing games or writing in the paper or what?
Fun, actually. I was a part of the paper, the Maroon Tiger is what we call it. I was just the editor, but it was a good group there. I was also on my freshman year, a part of the football team for that 1 year. We weren't that good, so don't look up the stats. I also got an opportunity for about a year and a half to be a radio personality from my hometown while I was in here in Atlanta during COVID. Dabbled a little bit in film as well. So a lot of network building in the last couple of years. Just hoping to see, if it could take me somewhere.
When you graduate, is the plan to take those skills back to St. Louis, or you'll go wherever you find something?
Kind of going wherever the best and, most beneficial opportunities present. I doubt it's my small town of St. Louis. Atlanta's a great big city with plenty of opportunity, especially in media. And so we'll see what happens here. Maybe California, maybe somewhere else, wherever the wind takes me for the most part.
Okay. Well, Mr. Fields, I'm going to jump to the end briefly, and then we'll march through the parts you and I need to. You're using up your 9th life here. It sounds like in Gwinnett, you got conditional discharge. You're going to get first offender here. If there's a next time, I hope there's not. It's an F, as in felony, but it'll be an F as in failure too, because that'll be hung around your shoulders. It will define you going forward, and it's not you. And I just share that to let you know you're out of chances. And so if finances get complicated, you have to do a different hustle. Because if you get pulled over and there's dope in the car, there's a gun in the car, that's a felony, and you don't have another switch to pull to say, wait, give me one more chance. So just keep that in mind. It sounds like you've got a good plan for yourself that has you heading in a direction that has nothing to do with this other stuff, which is great. I just hope you're able to achieve that. So I find a factual basis for your plea, and that your plea is knowing and voluntary. Do you agree that no one's forcing you to enter this plea and you understand everything we've been talking about?
Yes, sir.
Good. I am sentencing you pursuant to the Probation Options Management Act. So while you're on probation, if you have a minor violation, and I hope you have none, you and probation will solve that. If it's bigger, you get arrested, something like that, that comes back to me. First offender, the main benefit of first offender is that this is not a conviction. So when you're reapplying to school, applying for another job, you don't have to check that I'm a felon box. But you will still be under sentence. And while you are on probation, either for the 5 years in Gwinnett or whatever you get here, no firearms, nothing like that. The bad part of first offender would be self-inflicted, but if you do get in trouble again, then not only do you have the new charges, but you'd come back here, and depending on the seriousness and nature of whatever that trouble was, I could resentence you up to the maximum. That'd be pretty bad for me to max you out, but you've got a fair number of years, 23 plus the misdemeanor, so 24 years all told if we add it all up. So just keep that in mind. Ms. Rios, can someone in my office sign the indictment on your behalf?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Davis?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Fields, can we electronically sign your name indicating guilty plea as to counts 1, 2, and 3, and then a nolo plea as to count 4?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll do that. I am going to sentence you on count 1 and 2 to 1 year, and count 4 will be 12 months. Those will all be probated. Count 3 has to be 5 years, and it has to be consecutive. So I'll run it consecutive to count 1, but I'll probate that. That's how we get to 6 years probation. 5 seems to me like it would be plenty, but we can't really do 5 because you've got that consecutive 5 that has to go on top of something that has to be at least 1. 5 plus 1 gets us to 6. 6 years probation. I will require you to submit to a drug and alcohol abuse evaluation. It doesn't sound like that's your issue, but that makes it easy. You'll meet with a healthcare professional who will ask you about what you do in your free time. And if that person thinks you'd benefit from some form of treatment, that treatment is part of your sentence. If that person said, look, you were a marketer, but not a user, then there are no issues on that front. But getting treatment is good if you want to achieve your goals. 40 hours community service, you'll need to complete those in your first year of probation. You need to either be working full-time or enrolled as a full-time student. If you're not, for any week that you're not doing that, you'll have an additional 10 hours of community service. All right? But it sounds like working full-time is not hard for you to do. But if you pivot and you're at Morehouse full-time, that'll take care of the, hey, no more additional community service. I think that's it. Ms. Davis, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Ms.
Would
Rios?
you be inclined to set a behavioral incident date?
I would not, given that we've got a parallel case running out of Gwinnett where he used his alternate version of first offender. What county do you live in?
Currently DeKalb.
Okay. That just impacts where so are your probation is supervised out of DeKalb?
Yes, when I moved, they switched my
Good.
parole officer.
You're just gonna have one probation officer and he or she, you'll probably keep the one you've got. And that person will be supervising you in both cases, Gwinnett and Fulton.
Okay.
So I guess Mr. Fields is already in your system. Does he still need to report? Okay. So instead of going all the way out to Conyers to say, hey, it's Mr. Fields, they already know who you are. Make sure you call whoever your officer is by Friday to say, hey, you got me on another case too.
Okay.
Ms. Simpson will have put the case in the system, so your officer will know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, your Fulton case. Oh, tinted windows and all that kind of stuff, except it's not tinted windows anymore. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, good luck.
All right, thank you so much.
You bet.
Appreciate you.
I'm gonna step out and try to give Mr. Abadi a
No,
call.
you're good.
Yes.
So like the
Text me, but-
bond hearing may have went.
Well, that took a turn. The final sentencing in the case of Kendall Fields was one of those rare hearings where the legal process met a very human moment and handled it with care. Mr. Fields, a 25-year-old Morehouse student and full-time worker, pled guilty to several serious charges, including possession of methamphetamine, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and a weapon with a defaced serial number. He entered a nolo contendere plea to a reduced count of reckless driving, which helped him avoid the driver's license implications of the original fleeing charge. Through all this, the tone remained supportive but clear. This was his last shot to stay on a forward track. The judge's words were especially poignant. After reviewing Mr. Fields' background, including his conditional discharge in a prior marijuana case and active probation in Gwinnett County, the court agreed to sentence him under the First Offender Act, but made it absolutely clear that any future slip-up would be catastrophic. "You're using up your 9th life," the judge said, a line that hit harder than any legal jargon ever could. And it wasn't meant to scare, it was meant to underline how close this defendant was to losing all the opportunities still within reach. Mr. Fields himself was sincere and transparent. He explained how COVID derailed his college progress and how a lack of family support pushed him into survival mode. He talked about his dual jobs metro by T-Mobile during the day, Domino's delivery at night, and how every paycheck is part of his plan to finish his last 2 semesters at Morehouse and pursue a career in sports journalism. He didn't dodge responsibility. He admitted to poor choices and made it clear he saw them for what they were, a detour he didn't want to take again. The judge, to his credit, didn't dismiss any of this as just talk. He acknowledged Mr. Fields' goals, his work ethic, and the reality that he's doing it all without a safety net. But he also didn't sugarcoat the stakes. If Mr. Fields gets pulled over again with drugs or a gun in the car, there won't be another lifeline. It'll be a felon and it will follow him. The sentence was carefully structured. 6 years of probation, a drug and alcohol evaluation with treatment if necessary, 40 hours of community service in the first year. Full-time work or full-time school is mandatory. If he's not meeting that requirement, he's got to log additional community service hours. It was clear the court wanted to set boundaries, not build a trap. There was no behavioral incentive date offered, largely because of his parallel probation case in Gwinnett. But he'll be supervised by a single officer across both cases, keeping things streamlined. Everyone from the state to the defense to the probation team seemed aligned in wanting Mr. Fields to succeed. His defense attorney, Ms. Rios, made an earnest case for his potential, and the judge echoed her sentiments while reinforcing just how thin the ice was. In the end, Mr. Fields walked out of that courtroom, not just with a sentence, but with a reminder. This was the last time the justice system was going to meet him with an outstretched hand instead of a closed fist. Hopefully, that's all he needs. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.